All right, guys, welcome back to our coverage of the ESP Shock Therapy Cup here on Beyond the Summit. We've got Game 2 of our best-of-3 matchup between Liquid and Empire underway. Liquid took a pretty convincing Game number 1. Can they sweep the series, or can Empire stay alive and take Game 2, LD?
Game 1 didn't look good for Empire. They did make a comment in the lobby chat about US East and how they hate it, and then Liquid said they hate Luxembourg, and then Empire said, so don't play European tournaments, and then Liquid said it's not a European tournament because the organizer is American. So words were exchanged, shots were fired, and I think these teams are pretty evenly matched. That game was just a complete outdraft in terms of, well, maybe not outdraft, but definitely outlaned. Like I don't like the way Empire laned at all.
I would call it an outdraft, I think.
And not banning Storm was a pretty big blunder for me. So if they draft a little bit better and it's on Luxembourg, I can see this going 3 games for sure.
Yeah, I think so as well. The draft is well underway, and let's hop right into it. So, LD, we are now on Luxembourg. So this is Empire's server as things rotate. We were talking about the coin flip, how if you don't get your choice of server, then you get your choice of first pick or side. So this is Empire's server, which means who has first pick here?
Liquid, we just alternate after game 1. So Liquid gets first pick and Dire because that's what Empire selected for games 1 and 3, and it's on Luxembourg. So Empire gets Visage Clockwork. I like this opening a lot better than going like if you're gonna pick 2 supports early. Again, I think generally you want to have at least 1 disable, and they've gone 1 support and a very strong, versatile offlaner. Lots of lockdown, so some heroes that are kind of niche, like Storm, is still viable in this game, but it's more of an open-ended draft, and I think that's generally stronger to do. Like, I think me and Merlini came up with the term like flex picks, or just flexible picks, where
Alchemist syndrome.
Yeah, Alchemist, Clockwork, Visage. Nyx is a good example of a flex pick.
Yeah.
Heroes that can be played a lot of different ways instead of more one-dimensional supports like Ancient Apparition.
Yeah, and even Venomancer for that matter. He's a very good support, but fairly one-dimensional with that.
Look at this little Ursa ban.
Wow. So
do you think the Ursa was a big problem in the earlier match?
That almost felt like one of those games where they could have gotten away with a lot of carries in that situation, and it wasn't necessarily Ursa being Ursa as much as Ursa having a lot of room and sort of free reign to get out of control.
I agree. I felt like the big problem in that game was, 1, they fed Death Prophet.
Yes.
And 2, they fed Death Prophet against a lineup that also had a Chen, and there was some other strong pushing support, which is really hard to come back from because those kind of lineups snowball super hard.
Yeah. So I'm not particularly afraid of Ursa. Ursa and Wisp is the combo that makes me a little bit nervous, but just a singleton Ursa, it reminds me of Chaos Knight a little bit. By himself, I'm not really that nervous, but when paired with a Wisp or some other really scary combo, that's when it gets a little bit worse. Like an Ursa Rasta, that can be a very scary lane duo. Yeah,
Ursa Rasta can be if you're up against like a solo off lane and you catch him out of position. But I don't know what we're gonna see this game, to be honest. Both teams very open-ended in terms of how they started their draft. We have both teams probably with their off-lane solos. I do like seeing Bulba on a more farming-oriented mid, not necessarily like a hard carry like TA, OD, etc. I don't think he needs to play RTZ heroes, but a hero that can scale and continue to have an impact. Like there was a period where Liquid was always getting him Clock, and some games Clock just isn't a good matchup against like I mentioned, Ferrari 430s, solo mid, Shadow Fiend. But Dragon Knight fits the bill. He can scale well with farm. He can join fights early, and this is also potentially a deny pick to Empire. Giving a team Dragon Knight, Luna, and Visage is a lot of pushing power.
I think the key for Empire to have success in this game is to put some pressure on the Chen. It seems there's a lot of empirical data to support leaving a Chen unchecked in the jungle to farm to his own devices is a one-way ticket to having a bad time.
Yeah, I was just going to say, if you're going to have a bad time.
You know,
unless you get a good trade. And Visage is a better support to trade with than, like, Veno, Ancient Apparition. But he's still not great because he doesn't farm the woods fast, even though he uses the farm quite well. CM is in the pool, but they actually opt to go Rubik.
Interesting.
Decent roaming combo. They could maybe go aggressive tri-lane with these 3.
Yeah.
Not the strongest tri-lane, but it is 3 ranged heroes with Lunar Blessing The one thing they lack is great damage output at the low levels, like because Rubik doesn't have any damage until he gets some, but they somewhat make up for that with Visage. And Liquid go Shadow Shaman.
They like their Shadow Shaman.
This is going to be an off-lane Nyx, support Shadow Shaman, and then they just need TC's carry. And I think this they don't have to go aggressive, but I wouldn't mind seeing it. I don't think they have to the way they did in Game 1, though.
Yeah, almost a shame that Empire have picked up Luna, because I think that would be a perfect last pick for Liquid if she was still in the pool.
Oh yeah, that would be too good.
That would be devastating. Yeah.
Or Death Prophet. Do they go like Pugna here? Pugna DK?
That could work. That could work. They have a lot of pushing power already between the Chen, DK, and Shadow Shaman.
I think I would probably ban Pugna here. Maybe. Yeah. No, Juggernaut. That's another similar type of hero that's really good at sieging.
Yeah.
But I think Pugna's better at it. He's a little bit easier to kill, though.
Yeah, Juggernaut, he's deceptively good with pushing lineups because of that healing ward. That's I think not an overlooked ability, but one that a lot of folks don't give enough credit.
10 seconds remaining.
Can't heal the wards, though.
Can't heal the wards, but
the Chen creep's really good with those.
And it's percentage heal as well, which is also important to note. It scales very well.
Really good with Lone Druid in particular.
Yeah.
No. Well, do they go Lone Druid this game?
I mean, suppose they could.
He's good against Luna because you can tank the Eclipse damage, and he's tanky.
Yeah.
I actually wouldn't mind a Lone Druid pick here. I don't often say that, but... and they banned Lifestealer, who's one of his best enemies. I don't think Empire would go for it anyway, so... Lone Druid's an option. Pugna's an option, if they want to commit to that kind of style.
Right.
TC's Lone Druid is pretty good, too, so I think that's a... He also got a buff in this patch as well. Entangle is no longer an orb effect, so you can get a Desolator on Lone Druid. And that just wrecks towers.
Wow. Interesting. A 5th ban Alchemist. Is there a bit of... I mean, Alchemist mid still works very well against Dragon Knight. That Acid Spray is a great zoning tool. I mean, really, Alchemist is solid mid against any melee hero, but helps against the Dragon Blood, that passive health regen armor. Does help negate some of that from the Alchemist perspective. So,
yeah.
See where they're coming from with that ban, though. Don't know that...
They could have, they could have run like a solo mid Alch and an offlane Clockwork.
Yeah.
Or they could have gone tri-lane Alch and run Luna as a solo.
Yeah.
Luna does okay against Nyx 1v1. Obviously, if anyone else shows up, she's gonna have a bad time.
Yeah.
But let's see what Empire does. Oh, Invoker.
All right.
You know, in our first series against Sigma, first banned, ignored in this. He's been ignored in the other 3 games now until this point.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. So
Invoker's really good at slowing down pushes, whether you go Exort build or Wex build. He is, and with the buffs to... I actually want to look up exactly what was changed, because, to be honest, I don't remember the full changelog. Let's see.
I know Forged Spirits got beat upside the head with the nerf stick. That was one of the bigger changes, but there were some others as well.
The Wex got a lot stronger.
Yeah, Alacrity got buffed, so there were a couple others.
Let's see. Invoker, Forged Spirits are weaker. EMP burn went from 100 to 400 to 100 to 550, so the scaling's a bit better. I think the important thing here is that
it explodes faster.
Explodes faster, yeah. And then the last one is the Alacrity mana cost. Ghostwalk move speed is okay.
Yeah. Okay, so a Viper final pick for Team Liquid.
It will be like a... This is kind of similar idea to Lone Druid, though. It's like a strong, tanky, pushing carry.
Right. So, safe to say, Bulba going to be mid on Dragon Knight, and it will be a tri-lane Viper. I'm not a big fan of the tri-lane Viper in most cases, but I think in this case, it does make a lot of sense.
Why don't you like him in tri-lanes?
I feel like he just needs to get that experience up. Viper strike early as possible, move into mech. He just seems to thrive a bit better in the mid lane.
I mean, he's decent in some tri-lanes, but I agree he's not, because he doesn't offer you the burst damage of other farmers, like a Gyro or a Lifestealer, or even Luna.
Maybe I'd be better to rephrase and say he's not an ideal tri-lane hero, though he's not the worst tri-lane hero.
Yeah, but he works. I think he works for their draft pretty well.
Yeah.
And I guess the main question is going to be, my eyes are on mid. Resolution, we had some comments about US East. Is he going to put his money where his mouth is? He might just be going Quas Wex. He started with Quas. He's got Blades of Attack. We're going to see the Quas Wex Invoker on a comeback here.
Wow.
I'm excited, Andrew. At least I expect it. If you're going Exort, this is a very unusual build.
It's going to be interesting. Be interesting. We'll see how this works out. Have we seen this since the patch hit, or have most Invokers still been doing the classic Exort build?
I haven't seen it. And oh, by the way, level 1 smoke.
5-man smoke coming in here for Empire.
They want to ram it right at Liquid.
And they've got a pretty
they
solid
found Fluff.
level 1 fight, and there's the telekinesis to start it off. Fluff in big trouble. That is going to be a dead Chen to start things off. Always want to fly. Going to grab that bit of bonus gold, and that first smoke going to be a success for Team Empire on their Luxembourg servers.
They put more pressure on that Chen before the creep spawn in this game than they did in the entire last game of 30+ minutes.
Yeah.
Now the game's going to be not fun for Fluff.
Yeah. Well, of all the times to die for Chen, though, it's not too bad. It's not like he had a big creep that they were able to pick off.
And they didn't actually block his camps, but they may look to gank him. If they ever catch him with Mag and like a Sunstrike, well, I guess there won't be Sunstrike this game.
Oh, they're going to throw the sentry down. They'll find it.
Yeah.
It's going to make Fluff's life a little easier.
Good game sense. Generally, when a team goes aggressive into your jungle, especially if they get a first blood, they're going to drop a ward. So nicely done by Liquid. Not the biggest. I don't think they were going to do much with that ward early on anyway.
Yeah. Not the biggest deal, but still, as you mentioned.
But it's nice.
Good game sense. A good word for it. Vanscore, though, going to find himself an invisibility rune that did spawn down bottom, and may look to pressure this mid lane early on. I don't think that there was vision on the Dire side. No, I don't think Liquid know that it was an invisibility. I think he picked it up and was invisible before they poked over.
I don't think they saw that.
So they could potentially grab another kill here if they're not careful. Perhaps Koikva may step a bit too far forward.
What did they spend their gold on? Then they got first blood on the Visage. Did he buy more wards?
I am not sure.
Oh. Then they might go in on Koikva, but they're not going to be able to kill him without all 3.
Yeah, they're thinking about it here. They want it. Silent going to poke forward. Koikva maybe a little bit suspicious. And Rubik just going to reveal they're not going to go for it. All right, let's introduce these rosters a little bit. On the Dire side, we do have Team Liquid, the team up 1-0 in this best-of-3 series, as you can see here in the middle. TC going to be on the hard-farming Viper up in the safe lane. Way 2 going to be supporting on the Rasta. And we've got Fluff and Stuff playing Shen in the Dire jungle. That leaves Boba in the mid lane playing on the Dragon Knight. And, of course, Koikva going to be in the off lane here on Nyx Assassin. LD, would you like the honors of introducing Empire on their home servers?
I would love the honors. Resolution, your solo mid, Quas, probably Wex Invoker. Although he's taken 2 points in Quas, so, I mean, he could go back for Exhort, but if you want Exhort, you really benefit from the early bonus damage, so...
Yeah.
It seems to be a Quaswex Invoker, I should say. Mag on the offlane Clockwork. Always want to fly. He got the first blood. He's playing that support Visage. Silent on the Luna safe lane. And Vanscore, one of the more well-respected kind of young, talented supports in the European scene, will be on that Rubik. A lot of people compare him to FY.
Is he a younger player?
Yeah, he's like a young, talented support.
All right.
So and they might find,
in a little bit of trouble. Visage with a double damage rune. No way you're surviving this one. Maybe he can land an Impale, or pardon me, an Earth. No, it's Impale. Impale and Earth Spike. They're exactly the same, and they have different names. Visage going to grab another kill, though. It's going to be 2 on the board for Empire to get things started off. Lucky double damage rune spawn right there. Although they may have been able to grab that kill regardless, even without the double damage.
I don't know, but top lane, they're smoked up. They've gone onto Mag, and home in trouble for Mag.
This Clockwork in big trouble indeed.
But do they have Test of Faith? Yes, they do.
There it is. That's going to be the first kill on the board for Liquid. They'll level it out a little bit, and TC going to have a lot of room to farm up here. He is only 10-3 compared to the 16-7 Luna, so not getting the perfect farm that he desires, but this will open up a little bit more room for him. And now that they've killed Clockwork, it's going to be a lot more difficult for him to poke forward in the lane.
I guess the bigger deal is, even though the carries are fairly similar, if you look at the 2 off lanes, completely different. Koikva just hit level 2, Clockwork level 3.5. So despite the death, Mag is getting a lot more out of the off lane. And this is just Clock being a stronger off laner, because he can cog the creeps, force the lane to his tower. Nyx can't do that, so... Empire they secured the stronger, like a really solid, well-rounded offlaner early in the draft, and Liquid kind of threw in a Nyx later on, and well, that is the trade-off. Not a bad one, but just it obviously offers you a lot of other stuff, but in the laning stage, harder time getting levels.
Yeah. So Clockwork will disconnect here, no, pardon me, Luna, Silent going to disconnect here, all over the place. Hopefully, just a temporary connection issue here.
2-1, 3 minutes in.
Setting up for a bloodbath.
I really am just interested in this Invoker play. I don't know how much difference the changes are going to make. I think the biggest change out of looking at them, aside from the nerfs, like the biggest buff is going to be this EMP delay being lower, because EMP is something you can often run out of. You can tornado and drop EMP, and if you time it perfectly, it's quite hard to avoid. But the timing it is harder. It used to be that you could just drop EMP and it would affect heroes while they were tornado, which was retarded because you could never miss.
Yeah.
But now it does require more finesse.
And this buff is pretty big, though. The delay it was changed by almost like 30% increase. It was like 3.6, and now it's 2.7. Is that right?
3.7 to 2.6.
2.6. So I was close, but yeah, that's a big.
I think it's 2.6 at all levels instead of scaling down. So it's used to scale down to 2. Now it only is just a flat 2.6. But honestly, any buff that makes your hero stronger in the early game is generally an improvement. Even if your late game gets nerfed, because Dota's a snowball game, right? If you get ahead early, you generally stay ahead.
Right, and it does appear that he is going to be doing a Quas Wex build. Got that first point in Wex. So I'll give you the honors of keeping an eye on that Invoker.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it, but Quas Wex Invoker is not flashy at all until like the team fights come in the mid game. So
yeah,
don't expect much for now.
Yeah, I gotta practice my Invoker. I am not a very talented Invoker player myself. He is one of my worst heroes up there with Meepo.
Quas Wex is pretty easy mode. Like, at least to do a decent job. As we see Bulba blocking himself with his own illusions, but this is Quas Wex Invoker, so he has no deeps. Even with face boots.
Yeah. That is one of the problems. Well, things slowing down a little bit. The carry farms are looking pretty even. Of course, Luna and Viper. They're both basically in free farm heaven here with decent lane control, and the offlaners forced back to their respective towers.
Just look at the difference in the offlane. Koikfa is still level 2.5, and this clock is almost level 5. Well, sorry, 4.5.
That is the big disparity here. You're absolutely right.
Clockwork, good offlaner.
Yeah, he sure is. Nyx Assassin isn't a bad offlaner either, but he definitely struggles in this sort of a scenario when he gets this far behind. Making that recovery is a little bit more difficult.
The thing is, it's the supports of Empire. They just keep on pulling through and ensuring that the Nyx sees almost 0 creeps this game. So he just abandons the offlane. This is a big win. Nyx going into the jungle is very blah. They might actually just give him... Yeah, they're going to give him mid and rotate Bulba top, but you don't really want your DK to have to leave mid at 5.5 minutes in. He doesn't even have max breathe fire. Doesn't have his treads yet. Oh, sorry. Actually, he does have his treads. But it's still a bit early for DK to leave the lane. But I think given that Koikfa is getting nothing, this is the best trade.
Yeah, and I like this rotation because Nyx is a hero. Unlike Clockwork, he needs a little bit more farm. At the very least, needs to hit level 6 before he can really come online and be super effective.
They're going towards mid.
Yeah, they want to pick on this Nyx Assassin. Clockwork, at least, if he's under-leveled, he still has cogs, which are valuable at pretty much every level. And Rocket Flare, where he can do some stuff from long range. Even Hookshot, if he's under-farm, can still be useful in the right scenario. So I think it's a smart play to try and buff up this Nyx a little bit. Smoke gank mid, not going to be successful as Nyx has left the lane. Good news for Resolution is he's now picking up some additional last hits.
Both teams are going to smoke. Empires just wore off, and now Liquid on the move. And who's going to find that first kill? Liquid's going towards top. Smoke ganking head on into a Clockwork with highly leveled supports in the enemy team. The Visage is level 5. I mean, he's out leveling the Nyx. He's really high level. But hard to fight into this DK and
Liquid
Viper.
Just wants to chip away at this tower. Way 2 still only level 4, so no Rost awards to make this an easy push. But DK does assist quite a bit in these early pushes. Also with a double damage root on, will make their lives a bit
Invoker's
easier.
coming. He's really good in this situation.
Uh-oh. Waff going to get pulled forward. Still not level 6. No Hand of God. Shen will be the first to go down. There's the Tornado. Going to catch DK. Bulba going to be in big trouble. Down he goes. Always want to fly. Going to grab a double kill as the tower does fall, but it does get denied by Mag.
Really good rotations from Empire. And Liquid, I mean, this just goes back to the offlane. They were getting nothing there, so they said, you know what? We need to give our Nyx level, so they put a mid. Then they're like, well, what are we going to do? Dragon Knight? Let's push. But you're pushing into Quas Wex Invoker. You're pushing into a really highly leveled Visage, and they paid the price. So
yeah. And Luna wasn't even there that whole time. Silent was just free farming in the bottom lane. And, well, it didn't pressure this tower at all, but still opening space for Silent, and they deny the tower, and double kills. Double kills. They get 2 kills. That was a trifecta of win for Empire in that tower hold. I use hold lightly as the tower fell, but
a trifecta of tower holds.
A trifecta of
it was a lot of good things going their way. Is the other way to say it.
Yeah, getting
Trying to show off your vocabulary.
A little bit. Ever since Merlini made fun of me in the grocery store for speaking strange about food. Like, oh, this alcohol should not offend the palate. He's like, who talks like that in real life? It's like,
who does talk like that?
I'm just trying to practice for casting, man.
You got to appeal to the common man. That's why I curse a lot.
That's why I curse a lot, so you can be down there with just. Yeah, I guess that works. So it appears Silent is having some connection issues, though. Now the second time he's DC'd. Rather unfortunate. Of all the players to have lag issues, Silent is your carry. You really...
Yeah, it's never good when anyone has lag issues. Yeah. I'd say probably the worst hero this game would be Clock or Visage, because microing the birds and hitting your hook shots are very hard. But
fair enough.
Yeah, Luna, all about that positional play. So I guess taking a bigger look at the way the game's developing, Luna's having a really fast start and is rushing Dominator, and that means if Liquid don't start putting pressure on towers successfully, meaning they get a tower, they don't give up kills, and Luna gets to farm, you look at Empire's draft, and they're just an extremely efficient farming lineup. Visage is great in the jungle. Luna's fantastic. Invoker not going Quas Exort means he's only okay at it, but it should be enough. So I expect Empire already leading by 500 gold, 2,000 experience. They'll get very far ahead if Liquid's next pushes aren't successful. And one of the problems is they don't have a Nyx yet. Like, he's level 4, so one of their key team fighters isn't ready to go.
Things will get a little bit easier when Rasta hits level 6, and also when when Chen hits level 6. I think that was part of the problem with that fight up there, is they really wanted to make something happen, but maybe a bit premature. If they'd just been a little bit more patient, even just having a Hand of God in that fight would have made it so much easier to, just for Liquid in general, maybe secure that kill on Rubik, maybe commit to finish off the tower instead of letting it get denied. A lot of things could have gone differently if they had that huge heal, but Chen just a bit underleveled. Same story, different chapter. If they had the Rost awards, probably would have been easier to just knock that tower down, but lack of experience working against them. We got tournament admin LD over here trying to get the skinny.
Dude, being a tournament admin is thankless work.
I am not envious.
At best, you go unnoticed, and at worst, people hate you.
You get flamed for your terrible executive decision making.
Yes. I want no part of that job. Yeah.
So it looks like a Silent will reboot. You know, I dabbled in tournament organizing a little bit. My days in Heroes of Newerth and in StarCraft. It's a little bit easier in StarCraft, where it's a 1v1 game. You only have to deal with 2 people each game. But transitioning into Han tournament hosting, oh man, what a headache.
Yeah, 1v1 tournaments are much less painful to organize.
Yeah.
And also it's easier to just get games to start. Like, that's the biggest problem with 5v5, is if one person's missing. Yeah. Well, when there's 10 pieces to the puzzle, there's more ways to screw it up, I guess you could say.
Less coordination and less server issues as well with a 1v1. But.
So, it's looking good for Empire. Do you think we're going to see a Game 3? I know it's early. Because you said 2-0 Liquid, so I'm putting you on blast here. I said 2-1, so I'm looking good right now.
You're in the clear. I still think Liquid has a good chance here. I think the biggest problem was they just tried to rush that tower going down. I think maybe they were influenced by the double damage on DK. They were in a good position. We've got double damage. Let's just try and knock that tower. They just overcommitted. Again, I hate to go back to it, but if they had Hand of God, that overcommit would have been okay. But knowing that your Chen's level 5, knowing that your Rosta's level 4, they got to be okay with just backing up. If they're going to defend that tower, just say, all right, we got that tower down to 2/3. Let's just back up, save it for another day, wait for our supports to get that extra experience. So I think Liquid is still in okay shape, but some things do have to fall in line. Luna is farming very well to start things off, and that's always a scary precedent when you're at the 7-minute mark.
Yeah, that's one of Viper's weaknesses, is he does not flash farm well at all. So when you go Viper over, like, you know, the other main option, as we do have the unpause, it was like Lone Druid, I think, but although the Bear it's annoying to play against Invoker because Cold Snap's really strong.
Dire's bottom tower
so who's the mech carrier for Liquid here? Obviously, Viper is a hero that likes to go mech first when he's solo mid, but given the tri-lane, Shen is also a mech carrier. Who do you give it to here, LD?
You want to give it to Chen. I don't know if he's farming well enough, though. He's level 5 at 7.5 minutes. It's a slightly slower start for Fluff. I'd say like 20% slower than last game. Mainly because they executed that tower push just now, instead of last game where he was farming for another like minute or two and then went for the push. So ideally Chen, maybe Viper has to go for it, but Viper is your main DPS along with the DK later on, and you're up against the Luna is going to farm a lot. And if you go mech, that item does not help you farm at all.
That's
so
true.
So ideally he would go like
Just
Ags or
first.
BKB or something like that.
Yeah, okay. So Ags first is still the go-to item on Viper, especially
Or
in this kind of a
BKB.
game.
BKB is almost a necessity against Empire. Just Quaspex Invoker is so much crowd control. If you don't get BKB, you'll get to Viper Strike somebody, and you're probably just locked down for the rest of the fight.
So that short cooldown doesn't really matter if you can't get it off more than once anyhow, I guess is fair enough. So, alright, things going to settle down a
You
little
sparked a Han Trash discussion in chat, by the way.
Oh,
How do you feel about that?
Oh, so bad. So bad. Yeah, you can't change the past. Han was an okay game. It had some potential.
There was a period where Han was definitely more fun than Dota 1 for me.
Yeah, same.
And then it went down the shitter really fast. Yeah. I think it was when they went free to play. That's when the game got really bad. But
yeah,
Dota 2 is the once and future king now.
It's the future, that's for sure. So Mag gonna be level 6. Not gonna be. He is level 6. 1 experience over. They're smoked up in the river, looking for a hook shot. I think they want to pick on Koikba, knowing that he's level 5 and he can't Vendetta away. Perhaps looking for another opportunity.
And there is a Hand of God now.
Yeah, maybe they'll find Way 2. Yeah,
and they have 3 TPs here. Bulba has one, Way 2, who's already there, has one, and TC has one. But I don't know if they want to fight anyway. Oh, by the way, I can't hear the in-game sound. Oh, no, never mind. We just didn't have any.
It's just quiet, yeah.
Middle lane, they go in with an EMP Tornado on Bulba. He's getting really screwed over here mid.
Yeah.
He's not going to die, but he can't TP now.
Yeah, he does have a full bottle, though, with an invisibility rune, so he will be able to sip it up and maybe make his way down.
I like that play a lot, though, because if Liquid were thinking about defending the bottom tower, and you cold snap EMP Tornado him right at that moment, then Bulba can't TP, and they're not defending it without him, so it was just a nice way to secure the tower.
Yeah.
And, I mean, EMP Tornado is pretty spammable, so...
Yeah, definitely.
So I thought that was cool.
Yeah. Clutch play, Empire, with a lot of coordination. A bit more coordination this game. Do you think there's a degree of truth to being on your own server, also just helping your morale, knowing, okay, we have less ping, we're going to play better?
It's definitely a psychological thing.
Yeah,
I think it's partially a self-fulfilling prophecy where people are like, oh, if you're from Eastern Europe and you're on Lux or on US East, you're like, oh, this game's going to be shit. And if you're not, you think it's going to be good. By the way, there was a hookshot bottom. They made a go on Koikfa, but just narrowly missed it.
Oh, yeah.
And now Fluff's getting aggressive just by his lonesome. I think he's going to ward. What is he doing?
He's looking at these ancients. Is that his Wild Wing Ripper?
No. That's the Luna. She's stacked it once.
Yeah.
But he's just off in no man's land.
Not really sure what
and he has no backup. I'm not sure what the... Maybe just wants to stop the ancient stacking. But isn't going to even do that. What's he doing? I'm not sure what Fluff is doing.
Right,
okay, he finally wards it, but it's already a triple stack.
Yeah.
And they know, too. They saw him, so
yep.
That's not going to be very effective.
Yeah. Well, a noble effort. He does have it blocked, though, for future stacks. But
for now.
Yeah, for now. Luna is really just starting to get out of control, though. Her farm continuing to increase. About 1,000 up on the Viper, the leading farmer of Liquid. And going home with the Dominator first. Whoa, I actually missed that kill down bottom. Pardon me. Luna going to go ahead and burn the Eclipse. That's going to be a kill on Koikba, almost. He is going to survive. The Hand of God going to keep him alive.
Oh, nice impale.
Impale. Not going to be enough to stay alive, though. Now Bulba in big trouble. He's going to be stuck in the cogs.
Yeah, that's an unstoppable Visage at 12 minutes, who has a completed mech almost ready. And I think they're going to defend the tier 2 top. Vank scores in position. Fluff and TC are going to have to bag. And this game is looking like a really uphill battle for Liquid at this point.
Yeah, definitely. Right now, Visage with all 6 of the kills on the side of Empire. He is really picking up momentum in this match. Wow. So the question is, what can Liquid do here to start turning this around?
They have Shadow Shaman wards. Oh, Way 2 might die to familiars here middle lane. There's a big dive, and there's a cold snap at EMP.
Oh,
Down she goes. Yeah.
One last auto attack.
I mean, their team is built around just 5-manning towers, but they don't have their mech yet. Viper's not that farm, 2.1k net worth. And it's hard to push into a really over-leveled Invoker. He's level 11.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, Wex is almost max, so EMP is going to do that 550 mana burn, and the Tornado's got insanely long range. There's not much they can do. And they can't really fall back on farming, because this Luna went greedy.
Yeah.
The Ancient stack actually is still sentryed, so they will block 1 stack, but Liquid haven't been stacking their own Ancients. There's not much they can do.
Yeah.
Honestly, like they just have to somehow find kills.
Yeah, they're
Or 5-mana push, but good luck doing that into Empire. It's not just the Invoker either. Clockwork, really hard to push into as well.
Yeah. And this farmed Luna has some points, or at least 1 point in that Moonglaive now. Liquid is getting close to that point where they may need to just buy some smokes, move around, just try and find ganks anywhere they can and take some fights, because they're not going to win the farm game, and even if it ends up being a quick loss, just tap out and move into that game 3 if they can't make something happen reasonably soon.
They're really trying to force something bottom, but the Chen isn't here. The creep army's mid.
Yeah.
And this might be an opening for Empire to go in.
Yeah, all 4 members of Liquid going to rotate. There's the hook shot, going to connect on way 2. He gets the wards down before he falls, maybe going to give that Clockwork a dose of his own medicine. It's a 1-for-1 to start off the fight.
Dude, that mana burn, nobody had mana. They all magic stick up. They do turn it around, but the Luna's still here, and the Familiars are doing a lot of work. Can they get more kills? Nope.
No, maybe not.
Actually, the magic stick's bailing them out there in a big way, as well as Fluff showing up with his creep army in the end. Kind of turned things around, but was that a 2-for-1 in the end?
Yes, it was. Silent going to get a little bit of extra farm here off the wards, but the big play there was the wards coming down. Rasta was the first to fall, and he managed to get the Serpent wards down before he fell inside the cogs. That was enough to finish off the Clockwork, and then they got a stun onto the Rubik in range of the wards. They picked up both those kills. If he hadn't gotten those down, I think that would have been just a complete disaster.
And they're diving. They're going in mid. They have Eclipse.
And Bulba going to get cold snap. There's a Visage familiar stun. That's going to be an easy kill.
I love how Visage keeps on getting nerfed every patch, and he's still so strong. I love this hero, though.
Yeah.
He's a lot of fun.
He's insane. He's still good. He's one of those heroes that it feels like, how do you nerf him without making him useless? You know, he's either too good or he's broken. His kit makes him a little, almost like Spectre a little bit. His kit is just so good. He either does a lot of damage or he doesn't do any at all.
I feel like he just always does a lot of damage,
yeah.
to be honest.
No, I mean, like,
in terms of balancing him.
Right,
yeah.
You either just bash him with the nerf stick and he's awful, or he's really good. There's no... It's hard to find a middle ground with a hero like that.
Yeah. It's just the main thing that he just does so much damage, and the way Ice Frog seems to be balancing him is like making him easier to kill, making him squishier, but if you're always on offense, it doesn't matter how squishy you are.
Right.
And I feel like teams with Visage are almost always on offense in the important parts of the game, like the laning stage especially. And in the mid game, you can just fight with familiars. Your hero becomes much less significant.
Right.
So, yeah. I still love the hero, so I'm not going to complain if he's remained strong.
I've always thought one of the most broken things about him is that the familiars persist through death. If the familiars died alongside Visage, I think that would help level him out a little bit.
He'd probably be, like, not that good if they did, though. But top lane, we have Koikfa setting up for a 2-hero Impale.
They're looking for it.
They do have TC here.
Viper's nearby, yeah. Shen working his way over.
If they're going, they got to go soon, but there's backup on the way, and is about to run out.
Uh-oh. Koikva's got to make an executive decision here. Not going to use the Impale. Oh, no. Koikva.
You waited too long, man.
Oh, no. Koikva. Now TC is going to be in big trouble. Not going to be. He is in big trouble. Viper will fall.
And now they're going in bottom as well. This is just relentless aggression from Empire. They go onto Bulba. Eclipse is here. It's level 2. Nice stun, but the stun was stolen. Can't get in range, though. And Way 2's hiding in the trees.
Bulba not out of the clear yet. There's the cold snap. They're going to chase him down. That's a dead Dragon Knight. 3 easy kills across the map. Empire picking up so much momentum.
This Quaswex Invoker is doing... He's only 1-0-8. His CS is good, 84, but he's doing a lot of work. That 3-hero EMP Tornado at the ramp earlier was huge. Always want to fly. Might go down top. And this would be a much-needed return kill for Liquid.
He's trying to move around. Going to use the mech. Mag's coming in. He does have cogs available. Doesn't have a hook shot.
Are they going to fight this?
Always want to fly. Oh, beautiful cogs. Going to catch Koikva inside. Always want to fly. Might make it out. The stun. Not going to connect. Invoker going to be in the bottom lane. He'll finish off the Shadow Shaman. They grab that tower while all this is happening up top. So Liquid unable to even finish off the Visage, adding insult to injury here, LD.
Yeah. They couldn't even kill the Visage, man. He's so tanky. The funny thing is, like, despite all the nerfs, he's still a very tanky support because he gets fed usually, and then he gets farmed, and he's got Gravekeeper's Cloak. He's hard to kill now. Treads mech and point booster.
Yeah.
And now Empire going to Roche. I mean, they're having their cake, they're eating it too, and then they're ordering another meal on top of it. They're taking Roche, they're pushing bottom tower, they're getting kills bottom, they're not dying top, they're getting kills top. Like, is there anything Empire isn't doing this game? besides cure
No.
cancer.
Yeah, it's almost like watching a different team compared to the last match we saw, where they were in a little bit more disarray, and here they're just on point. They have the coordination. They've been doing cross-lane coordination, picking up kills all over the place. Maybe it's just this wild card Invoker that really caught Liquid kind of off guard against. You just don't expect this Quas Wex style, and it is a little bit different. Invoker not hitting hard, but he's got the disables. He's getting rid of their mana.
I think his big strength is just being really hard to push into.
Yeah.
The EMP is somewhat negated by mass arcane boots, but Liquid didn't get early arcanes. Quakefo was poor forever. He has them now, but he didn't for a long time.
Right.
And the Shadow Shaman didn't get arcane boots right away because he's a support. So the mana burn's been really effective this game, and even though it's not as big of a deal now, it's like those mid-game fights that break the game open for Quas Wex Invoker. And the wards get dropped bottom, but I don't think they're getting this tower. This is just free gold, free money, easy money for Empire.
They're going to do a little bit of damage to this tower, but Resolution should be able to clean it up. He's got a 4-staff. Now, with an ultimate orb, probably going to turn it into a sheep stick.
He's fat, man.
Yeah, he's getting big. And that bit of bonus gold down bottom will help. They will rotate into the mid lane, and Liquid.
The other fun thing about Quas Wex Invoker is you go really fast. Gotta go fast.
That's true. You gotta move.
Look, when he phases 468, when he props the drum charge, he's over 500, if not max. And they're gonna defend mid. Liquid are in all kinds of trouble.
Yeah, that tier 2 tower will survive. And Dragon Knight in a really awkward position. He wants to just finish off the tower. Boba recognizing this team fight, probably not going to go their way. Shen is going to fall.
Definitely not going their way. 2 dead. They did get the tower, but the Radiant took
the top tier 1.
Yeah, okay, they took a tower too, so it's not even a great trade.
Yeah.
This Luna is so farmed as well. 20 minutes in. This is what happens when you just go straight Dominator and the enemy team doesn't punish you and your team creates space.
Right.
Like, Viper's got reasonably good CS, actually Ags and Treads, but he's not going to keep up, and I guess I missed that kill anyway. But bottom lane, Mag going in with the haste.
Yeah.
And he might find Quakefo as well. No, I guess that'll be it.
Quakefo will move into the fog and pour it out. Looking bad for Liquid. I think they've got to be close to that point of just tapping out and going next. In a best-of-3 series like this, they won the first game. They have the luxury of being able to stop the madness before they get too demoralized. And maybe one last big team fight. I think they're getting close to that point. Really, the only core item they have is a Blink on Nyx, which is good now. They've got Mech, and they've got the Ags on the Viper, but that's not very much compared to all of the core items that Empire have been able to finish up, in particular that Yasha and BKB in the inventory of Luna.
This Visage is more farmed than everyone except for Viper, and he's only 1,000 gold behind Viper.
Yeah.
And he's going to do more than Viper in the fights once he gets Ags, for no question, even if they have equal gold.
And he's close to it, only about 500 off that last piece. So not too far off. And of course he does have that mech, which he opened in this match. 16-4.
I would like to see a gem for Empire now that they've really established control over the enemy jungle. Also, Mag is just
he's going man mode
in no
here.
man's land, but apparently that's his hometown.
Yep. Gonna turn on the battery assault. Eclipse. What am I
He
talking
doesn't
about?
have vision.
Impale.
Now he does.
And looking for a hook shot, perhaps.
Oh, now he's got vision.
And Fluff in big trouble, I think, needless to say. That will be a kill. EMP, even a bit of overkill. Just a disaster. Visage 9-0-7. Invoker 4-0-9. And even Luna has yet to concede a death 1-0-7.
So are we going to see a mirror image of the lobby chat going into game number 3?
I
Luxembourg sucks.
Luxembourg sucks. But again, I mean, do you really feel like Liquid are losing this game because of ping issues? It doesn't feel like it to me, but I'm not the one in the driver's seat.
No. Like, if you look at the two off lanes, it doesn't matter what your ping is. Nyx is going to get less out of the off lane than Clockwork.
Right.
Maybe Fluff could have dodged the first blood with lower ping, but to be honest, like, that was a pretty long delay he had. I think his camera was just elsewhere. Always want to fight does get caught top, but can they even kill him? He's resummons familiars, double stuns, did stack them a bit, but this is buying time for the cavalry to come in. He's still got mech. He will go down. That's a huge kill, though. That is a really big kill for Liquid. 1,200 gold.
And will go the way of the Nyx Assassin. So Quakefo going to find a little pick-me-up.
Fluff. TC. This looks bad. There's a Hex on Invoker now, but he's being sent back.
Yeah, he will make it back.
They wasted Eclipse.
A totally whiffed Eclipse right there. I don't think he got a single beam off. Fluff still not out of the clear. Telekinesis into Tornado, into EMP. Oh, boy. This Shen can't catch a break.
Nice send back, though. They did burn the Eclipse, and now they drop wards. They might get this tower. I think it's going to be a deny. Oh, Vayne scored just missing on the lift there.
Yeah,
they should be able to get the
be
tower
a deny. They're going to clear these up.
It's not in deny range yet. They killed it too quickly.
Visage Familiars do some work on those Rasta wards as well. They take them down fast.
Do they one-shot them?
I don't think they one-shot them.
Maybe when they have their max damage.
They attack so fast, though, that they clear them out very, very quickly.
Yeah. Empire leading 18-5. They did lose that massive Visage kill streak, but they stabilized. They're not falling behind in terms of their lead, and I think they're almost at that point. Silent has the Manta complete. Dominator. Aegis still online for like 30 seconds. Not even. Like 15 to 20, I think.
Yeah.
But they can at least do one round of damage to the tower. They find way too bottom lane. There's your Hex. Gets the kill.
Shadow Shaman. Well, I don't know what else to say. He's dead. He is very dead. He didn't have his wards up anyhow, so of all the heroes that go down in that sort of a fashion, I guess he's well suited for it. But I like how that Visage kill made a dent in the gold graph there. So much gold.
He's 9-1 and 7.
Look at that. Rubik stealing the wards.
Huge plays.
Wow.
Their push was already good. Now it's great.
Yeah. That is really adding insult to injury. Glyph going to be burned right away. Tier 3 falls, and now the Rack's exposed. They should fall pretty quickly here.
Fluff just casually running into the middle of the fight and in a lot of trouble.
Hand of God comes out. It'll just buy TC a little bit of time. Nice crowd control there with the power cogs as it pushes him. A little bit of disable while he's scooting. Mist and Pale from Koikva. But Empire will just reset. They did lose their Rubik kind of in the fray there. So Liquid does hold, but it cost them a couple of buybacks. Nay, a singleton buyback from TC on the Viper.
Well, they also got to farm the enemy wards, which is something.
Yeah, all right.
It's the little things for Liquid, but make no mistake, they're in a lot of trouble. Just look at their map control. They have one ward outside the base, and it's about to expire right now. And Roche is coming up soon. Empire can keep the lanes pushed in. They can always scout with the familiars. Liquid, even if they were able to farm, are going to have a very hard time keeping up with this Luna, but they are going on in mid. They start on Mag.
And Koikva blinking forward. The wards come down. Might be able to grab a kill onto Silent. A lot of damage coming out in return, though. Even if they pick off Silent, it's already cost them their Shadow Shaman. And actually, he's going to go back in. A misplay from Silent, though TC will fall. The rest of the team going to be in to clean up Liquid. DK, the one last survivor, as he falls, and the GG well-playeds come out. Empire does it, LD. They tie up the series 1-1, and we're going into an ace match.
And they did it without Eclipse. They didn't even have Eclipse in that fight. Luna, like, ran in, ran out, never Eclipsed. Silent apparently was lagging. Like, he disconnected several times in that game. But didn't matter. They still won the fight.
Yeah.
Boy,
so,
2 one-sided stomps in this series. Do you think Game 3 will be another stomp?
That's a very good question. I almost hope not. I hope it doesn't end up reflecting the servers, where whoever has their server choice just ends up stomping just because I don't know. I don't want to feed the fire of servers being the end-all, be-all.
I'm talking about it way too much. But, yeah. You know, the teams bring it up in lobbies, so it's fair game.
It's fair game. Fair enough. It's an interesting series, though. I almost feel like Liquid was a bit outdrafted here. That Viper tri-lane wasn't a big fan going in, still not a big fan. Not that Viper's bad, but he just wasn't a playmaker. You know, TC didn't play poorly, but what could Viper have done right there? I don't know. If they had picked Lone Druid, do you think it would have made a big difference, or same story?
I think it would. They would have had more options. Yeah. But I still go back to the off lanes, because Nyx did so little in the off lane, mostly due to the nature of the hero matchup, that they had to make a rotation, and because they had to make a rotation, it had a domino effect where Bulba had to leave mid early. He was having a decent time there, getting good farm, and then they had the awful push top, and you know, from there the game just kind of snowballed. So I think securing a stronger offlaner, Nyx offlane can be really good some games, but it's situational. It's not always the right choice.
Definitely. We'll see, though, guys. Our last match of the day is coming up. Again, our best of one that was originally scheduled for the losers. The elimination match has been postponed. It's Fnatic versus Sigma. Do we know when it was rescheduled to? Has that been set?
It's going to be the first game tomorrow at 6 p.m. CET.
Okay. So, yeah, the schedule changing a little bit. But this is our last match. This is the winner's bracket, so no one's going home. But this is a fight to stay alive in the winner's bracket and have that easy trek towards the grand finals. Yeah! ESP Shock Therapy Cup is what you're watching, guys. Make sure you check out the ticket. It is $8. You get a HUD, you get wards, and this is a personally funded tournament. So if you feel the need to support someone who's out there trying to support esports on their own dime, it's a ticket worth purchasing. I'm Zyori. With me is LD. Make sure you check us out on Twitter, at ZyoriTV, at LDDota. We're going to get this next lobby up. We're coming right back. Don't go anywhere. Conclusion of this series up next.